Hi, I'm Joyce, the Energy Lady. I have an interesting conversation today. Some of you may or may not agree with me, and that's okay. I had a client recently talk to me about making apologies. If you have done something that's really harmful to another person and you want to apologize, that's okay. But I teach forgiveness all the time. Well, one thing about apologies are you need to look at what your agenda is when you make that apology. What is your expectation? So if you make an apology to somebody and said, oh, I'm really sorry that I did this or that or whatever it might be, what is it you're hoping to get in return? That's why I say, what is your agenda? Because if you're hoping in return, they're going to say, oh, it's okay, or thank you, or something. You never know. You just don't know what people's reaction or response is going to be to an apology. So you want to look at number one, you want to look at your agenda. What is your agenda for that person? What do you want them to give you back in return? And if you want nothing in return, you have no agenda, you're simply wanting to make your apology, that's okay. But the biggest part of forgiveness, when I teach forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you. When you forgive a person for something they've done, a big part of that is forgiving yourself for the offense you took at whatever the person did. So if you did something that offended somebody that may have been harmful, then you need to forgive yourself for what you did. Because forgiving yourself for what you did, I have people all the time who say, I can never forgive myself for what I did to so-and-so, okay? And I said, that's exactly what's eating you inside, is you saying that you can never forgive yourself. And so forgiving yourself is a form of apology, because forgiving yourself is releasing you from what you have told yourself or made yourself wrong for. So when I teach forgiveness, I do not tell people to go back and tell that person you forgave them. I don't ever say that, because once again, there's an agenda. You have an expectation for them to respond to that. And also you want them to say something in return when you are telling them you forgive them. So you have an agenda there. So people also may not even think they did anything wrong when you say you forgive them. I remember when I was teaching this, and I had a person, I was speaking actually to a group of people, and it may have been a joke, but when I finished the talk, I walked down and one of the men I knew said, well, I forgive you, Joyce. And I said, I don't know what for. And it immediately started chatter in my brain, like, is he joking or was that really something? And that's exactly what happens when you say to somebody, I forgive you, then they immediately have chatter in their brain going through all the things they might have done that could have offended them, or whatever may be going on in their heads. So forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is saying, I forgive myself for what I did. I forgive myself for what I experienced. I forgive myself for the harm that I have caused myself and others by taking offense. So when you take offense, I've heard the most horrendous stories. People who've been abused for years, women who were sex trafficked, whatever. They have to forgive themselves for the anger, the hatred, the malice that they feel towards the person who may have been their perpetrator, because that anger inside them is eating them. They don't even have to forgive the perpetrator. They definitely are not going to go to the perpetrator and say, I forgive you. So apologies fall into that I forgive you kind of category. So when you make an apology, if someone says, will you forgive me? Definitely, you can, if it's your choice, you can say yes or no, okay? But if you go up to a person and say, I'd like to apologize for this, That is for you. Do not have any expectation behind that. So kind of an interesting little twist on things for some people. And let me know what your thoughts are on that. Talk to you later.